Hi, my name is Lisa O, and I'm an emotional intelligence teacher, consciousness coach, and creator of Your Affirmations card decks. This podcast is inspired by the healing path, and it is for anyone seeking help, hope, and humor in their healing journey. My guest today on the Keep a Light Heart podcast is Mandi Palmer. Mandi is an intuitive health strategist who helps people find clarity and confidence with MedicalMedium protocols. Hi, Mandi. Thank you for being here today.
Hi, Lisa. I'm so happy to be here to talk with you today.
My goal with these shows is to shine a spotlight on different practitioners from around the world in order to help people on their healing path, like I said earlier, find a little help, hope, and humor. There are 4 parts to each episode. First is a teaching segment, then we'll talk favorites mixed in with a little Q&A, and last we'll play a game. How does that sound to you, Mandi?
Great, I'm excited.
How does somebody work with you as a health intuitive strategist?
I work one-on-one and I have groups, and I hold about 3 or 4 groups a month. So they're pretty often, and I hold a membership. I have a membership available to people where they can have that combination of brief one-on-ones, intuitive body readings, and groups. And it's really, really affordable. And I have a back-end system of unique course material, various things that people can sift through as well in that membership. So that's primarily how I work with people.
So if I had a friend who had some teeth and gum issues, for example, how would you work with that person in a group or one-on-one?
Every person's individual. Depending on what they're bringing forward, everyone is going to get about the same intuitive body reading. I have an entire chart where we're looking at pathogen level, heavy metal toxicity, liver function, thyroid function, adrenal fatigue, chronic dehydration, all the things that we've learned through medical medium information that are important to feeling better and getting results. So we look at that, and then we take that overall wide picture and we say, okay, what really needs attention right now? What kind of supplements and herbs are going to be helpful? Are there any cleanses that are going to be helpful? And it's really a conversation between me and the person. I'm not the kind that just tells people what to do. This is what I think you need. We have conversations, and I work with people. I prefer to work with people over a period of a few months to 6 months, so that I can track every month. Okay, let's see. Let's look at your intuitive body reading every single month, and let's see what's changing positively. Let's see what's not moving.
Mm.
And then, so we can see how the minerals are doing, how the deficiencies are doing. For something like teeth, we can see how the level of hydrochloric acid is. That will also affect the teeth. And if there's anything additional, I will always add that for the person. Then we look at it every month and we say, okay, what can we do differently? Or we look at it and say, look, you are really making progress with some of this. I know it may not feel like it on the outside, because a lot of times it takes time for this stuff to be that's happening on the inside to be reflected on the outside. And so it gives people a little bit of hope. Okay, so my EBV was at 65% and now it's 55%. So that's still quite a big load where somebody would still be having symptoms, but it gives hope.
Mm.
Okay, I am doing all the right things. And I love doing that with people.
I saw recently that you taught a Qigong class. What is Qigong? And is there anything you can tell us about how you apply that into a medical medium lifestyle?
Yeah, so Qigong it's the sister of Tai Chi. A lot of people are familiar with Tai Chi, what it might look like. They've seen videos, maybe they've seen somebody do it in a park, but it's easier and simpler to learn than Tai Chi. I did Qigong, no problem. I went to a Tai Chi class. I'm like, I couldn't keep up. I just couldn't. I couldn't memorize it. It was just too hard for me. But I fell in love with Qigong right away. I call it moving meditation. Moving meditation. It's such a beautiful art to feel that movement in your body in a Zen or calm state. And how do I incorporate it with MedicalMedium? So it keeps our adrenaline down because it brings us into the rest and digest parasympathetic state of our nervous system versus fight or flight. And the more that we can keep our nervous system in that calm state, the more we can keep our adrenaline down. That's when I see people making progress with their healing. When the stress is so prevalent. And the idea isn't to have an easy life, where things are always going right. That's not the idea, right? The idea is that we become resilient to those things. That's the idea. And that the more that we can stay in that state, that relaxed state, and be okay with certain things, the easier it is.
Is there anything that you can teach us about Qigong, a technique or tool to help us keep a light heart?
Yes, I would love to teach you the very first phase of what I learned to be the 5 phase routine. And it's the beginning of, it's something that you do before you do the form. So we don't have to get up. We don't have to do anything. We're not going to learn anything complicated. But if there's one tool that I wanted to send everybody off with today, it's the ability to relax the body from head to toe and smile from the heart. So I would love to show everyone that today.
Fantastic.
Okay, ready? All right. So normally in Qigong, you would be standing, but for this purpose right now, just get into a relaxing position. You can be seated, you can be laying down, and I will talk you through the very beginning, which is just relaxing the body from head to toe. So if you would be open to, you may close your eyes, but you don't have to. So take a nice deep breath in through the nose, filling the belly with air, and then out through the mouth. And bring your attention to the top of your head. And imagine someone is gently pouring warm water over the top of your head, and you feel that water traveling down your scalp. And now bring your attention to your face. We hold so much tension in so many parts of our body, and our jaw is one of them. So take a nice deep breath into just being aware of the area, being aware of your jaw, taking a breath into any areas of tension in your face. A lot of times it is the jaw. And just allow your tongue to relax back and your jaw to maybe come down a little bit where your teeth aren't clenched. And now bring your attention to your shoulders and take a nice deep breath into your shoulders. And as you exhale, allow them to melt down. Now bring this softness into the chest. You can take a breath into it, or you can just imagine all the muscles there softening, opening up your heart. So often we want to keep our chest closed. Open your heart. Now take this feeling of softness into your back, your upper back. So take a nice breath into your back, into your low back, and into your belly. Allow your belly to be how it wants to be. So often we're taught that it has to look a certain way. Just allow your belly to be. And just like water flows and energy flows, bring this feeling of softness down into your lower body, into your hips, your legs, your knees, your ankles, all the way down to the bottoms of your feet and the tips of your toes. Now take one more nice, big, deep breath, and don't be afraid to make a noise on the exhale to really let everything go. And before you open your eyes, we're going to do one more thing. I want you to smile from your heart. And that just means smiling with your whole being. And it's okay if it isn't coming from your face, as long as you feel it. And if it helps, you can think of something that brings you a lot of joy or a moment you had in your life where you felt true joy, true love. And this is a feeling that we can carry with us always. And if you've never done a relaxation before with your whole body and you practice this, the more you do it, the better you get at it, the quicker you can do it. And when you do these two things together, relaxing the body and smiling from the heart, it gets easier to do the more you do it, and it'll help you go through your days with much more ease and grace. And it's a tool that you have to pull out of your toolbox whenever you're ready to, whenever you need it. So come on back.
Oh, that was beautiful. Exactly what I needed at this moment, Mandi. Thank you for being so generous and teaching us that.
Absolutely.
Let me switch gears now. I would love to know how you found the medical medium protocols and why do you believe them to be true?
Mm. Oh my goodness. I first came across a Facebook post of his probably in 2015 talking about vertigo.
Mm.
And that was my worst symptom. It was the kind where the room spins and I couldn't open my eyes. I couldn't turn my head. Otherwise everything was just spinning. And so I'd spend like a week or two in bed at a time. And I read that and it resonated with me, but I wasn't ready at the time to dive into the information. So I just passed on. And then it was a couple years later in 2017, I was inside of Barnes and Noble and I came across his book. I came across both books because at that time, both the first book and Life Changing Foods was out. And I opened up the first book. And there was just something about it as I was starting to read just a few lines here and there. I just knew that I needed this book. I knew that I needed that book. I purchased the book. I read it in 3 days because I felt so seen. And reading that book was a spiritual experience. How I felt learning that info for the first time, I jumped right in. I jumped right in the next day, that week, getting rid of eggs, getting rid of collagen, getting rid of meat. I've done my medical medium journey without meat because that's just what feels best to me. I've seen a lot of people heal still eating that. And intuitively, it just felt right. And it still does. It still does.
If you could ask Anthony, Spirit of Compassion, one question, what would that be?
Hmm. Tell me about life, Anthony, after we move on from this life. And was there any planning? What planning went into before? Because he's talked about um, reincarnation, right? That we have multiple lives. And that I've always believed too. But, what kind of planning goes into it before life? What happens after? What do we do after? We don't just float around. I just want to know the details of all of that. I would love for him to validate some things I already feel that I know, or, teach me something new in that area.
Good question. Well, I hope one day you'll get those answers. What is your favorite medical medium book or recipe or spiritual tool?
Okay, so book. I have to say Brain Saver, even though Liver Rescue is a close second, I really love the information in both of those books. They're just so advanced, but advanced in a way that is so easy to understand. He takes the complexity that we hear in conventional and alternative medicine and doctors talking, they make it sound so complicated. And Anthony makes it so simple. And there's just amazing tidbits in there that are just unlike anything else.
Favorite recipe?
Oh, I love making blueberry muffins. I make them fat-free. I use a combination of oat flour, chickpea flour, and millet flour. And I love his kabocha squash recipe.
Favorite MedicalMedium spiritual tool?
I really love the Surrounded by Trees meditation from the Revised and Expanded. It's the one where you're growing roots down into the forest floor. I use that every single day. I love that one.
We have a park that we walk to nearby, and there are these big, beautiful trees. And so I'll go there and do that. And then when I come back home, I visualize and remember that. And I think it's just a beautiful one. Do you have a favorite MedicalMedium quote?
Yeah, it's from the Thyroid Healing book, which I know is not the most popular book, but this sums it up so well. Hypothyroidism can cause body temperature fluctuations, a bit of fatigue, or slight listlessness and dry skin. That's it. There's so much that's blamed on the thyroid, and people are still really, really concerned about their thyroid. And that book explains that EBV is the true, real culprit we need to be going after.
That was a surprising quote.
I'm sure a lot of people are going to be giving you spiritual quotes, but I wanted to get that one out there more.
Love it. As a consciousness coach, one of my favorite things to do is connect you with your subconscious mind to align you with your purpose. In MedicalMedium's first book, he writes, words hold power. Words are powerful and they mean so much. A word is an energy source. Certain words hold great power. So from my own experience, I believe this is true, especially about our names. Do you know what your name means?
I think I had like a card when I was a kid. But why do you know? Do you have it?
Yes.
Yeah, tell me.
Amanda means worthy of love and lovable.
That's what I remember. That's exactly what I remembered.
What does that mean to you?
Oh, well, that was exactly what that card said growing up. Exactly the same thing. And I feel like back then it was a really good realization and lesson, because when you're a kid, so many things can be so hard. And I remember I kept it on, it was like a rosy color, had like an italicized font, and I kept it on my bedroom mirror on my dresser. And it's interesting that I kept it there. I must have really needed that affirmation.
I find it so beautiful that the meaning of your name is really what you do in your health intuitive strategy work, is you help people feel lovable again and worthy of love, and to know that all these things that happen to them aren't their fault, like you were just saying in the thyroid quote. And so I just think that it's such a fitting name, and wanted to share that with you.
Thank you. That's so beautiful. What a wonderful surprise.
One of my favorite cards in my affirmation card deck is this activity. When you hear someone say your name, you do the affirmation out loud. And so if someone says your name, you can say that I am lovable.
So Lisa, what's this card deck you're talking about?
It's called Cue Your Affirmations. And it's just a simple affirmation practice that prompts you to consistently say affirmations with your everyday activities. So there are 36 cards in each deck, and each card has a singular affirmation thoughtfully paired with an activity. So for example, you can turn on the light and you say, I am light. And the beauty is that you don't have to set aside extra time or need to remember to do it or memorize anything, which is really important when you have brain fog and you're stressed. And like Anthony says, you're on Mattress Island. It's hard to do a lot more than just survive. So there's a lot more depth and complexity to the practice than what you see, but it's very easy to do and it's very powerful. It's actually how I rewired my neural pathways and healed spiritually and emotionally with the help of my soul team and the essential and life-changing angels and unknown angels.
With what we did today and what we talked about with keeping our nervous system in the parasympathetic and keeping our adrenaline down, this is a wonderful, wonderful tool to connect spiritually, to ground your energy. I love it. That's awesome.
Thank you so much. I'd love to just share. There's a quote that he talks about in the healing path. Affirmations help you create your life with your thoughts, feelings, and words you say. And if you've been going through a tough time or you've been feeling lost, they help you to set and do intentions to recreate yourself and move forward with momentum, which is essential for the healing process and the journey that we're on. See, words hold power. They really do. Words are powerful and they mean so much. And what we say matters here on earth, and what we say matters in heaven. In the universe, the great divine hears what we say. The angelic realm hears what we say every day. Our loved ones that cross over hear what we have to say because it matters what you say. This has been an incredible tool for me to come up with an affirmation practice and then validate it with what Anthony taught. And I think it's so great because, when you're on this healing journey, it's so easy to beat yourself up and say, I'm not doing this perfectly, and not take really good care of yourself and be compassionate and kind to yourself. And so when you're super stressed and you're trying to make all your celery juice and life is difficult and you're in pain and suffering, this helps remind you to use these affirmations as powerful prayers of intent and ask for help.
That's exactly what they are. And you reminded me by talking about this that I have been doing this as part of my nightly prayers. And I can't tell you how many times, even when I used to have really bad insomnia, how many times I fell asleep doing that. So the affirmations that you have on there, they're probably so powerful. I just believe affirmations are so powerful. They connect us spiritually. So seeing AW's words there and making that connection, that's so beautiful.
Okay, well, I would love to play a game with you. Are you up for that?
Yeah.
Okay, so the game was called Would You Rather? And the first question is, let me pull that up. Would you rather be able to teleport anywhere or be able to read minds?
Teleport anywhere. I can already sort of read minds a little bit.
So you'd be able to do both. Okay. Would you rather accept help or just take care of things on your own?
Accept help or just would I rather? Oh gosh. Well, I have always behaved in the take care of it on my own, but there's so much value in asking for help. I've gotten better at that as I've gone on in my life.
Mhm. Would you rather have the ability to mute people at will or pause people for 5 seconds at a time, but only once an hour?
Oh, pause people. I couldn't mute anybody. I can go into a whole bunch about that, but yeah.
Would you rather only need to sleep 3 hours a day without being tired or hurting your health, or only eat once a week without being hungry or hurting your health?
Oh, wow. Wait. So would I rather only sleep 3 hours? I have both those things. Eating, I love sleeping, but I probably love eating more. So
Would you rather not be able to open any closed doors, locked or unlocked, or not be able to close any open doors?
Hmm, probably the first one. Sometimes we think that things are better. The grass, it'll be different on the other side of that door. A lot of times it's not. A lot of times what we already have is exactly what we need.
Would you rather become twice as strong when both of your fingers are stuck in your ears, or crawl twice as fast as you can run?
I crawl twice as fast. That sounds fun.
Thank you so much, Mandi. And thank you everyone for watching or listening to the Keep a Light Heart podcast. If you enjoyed it, please make sure to subscribe and like it. Mandi's website is mandipalmer.com. That's MandiPalmer.com. And mine is lisao.co. This podcast and all related content are for informational purposes only and may include general information not specific to you. They are not intended to replace medical advice. Always consult a qualified healthcare professional for any medical concerns. The views and opinions expressed are those of the host and guests, and we are not responsible for any actions taken based on this information.